Most coaches and consultants have heard of the feast or famine cycle, or the hills and valleys of having a coaching business. And most experts are teaching you that you need to eliminate those hills and valleys and create predictable, consistent income. And I'm not going to argue with that. You do want to create predictable and consistent income. However, we want to turn those peaks and valleys, which are a natural cycle of business, to your advantage. So to help you with that, I'm going to share my handy dandy screen. So what we're talking about are those peaks and valleys in your revenue, which are often called the feast or famine, the hamster wheel, whatever you want to call it. What these peaks and valleys actually are is the natural rhythm of business. In nature, you will find that everything works on a cycle, that there's seasons, there's phases of life, there are natural circles of life that have these growth cycles and these death cycles, and your business is no different. So once you can accept that there will be hills and valleys in your business, then we can really take control and plan for them. So what we want to do is we want to create quarters that are geared toward creating a lot of revenue, and then valleys that are devoted to taking a step back, setting up for the next peak. So that might mean working on your website, creating a new product or program, delivering the product or program that you just launched, and getting ready so that in the quarter to follow, you're ready to hit the ground running again and create another income peak. So how are you making money in between? Well, there's a couple different ways. One, if you're doing payment plans, then you're going to be spreading out that income over a long period of time. Or if you're not doing payment plans and you're getting lump sums of money, it's up to you to be planning appropriately to make sure that you have enough money to cover your expenses, your salary, etc. This requires good upfront planning and knowing how much revenue you need to generate over the course of a year in order to reach your goals. Then divvying that up into 2, possibly 3 peaks during the year instead of trying to create a monthly figure. So what often happens for coaches is that they get stuck in one of two places. Either they are stuck riding the peaks and they are in constant launch mode. This is where burnout happens. This is where you hear coaches saying, I need to get out of launch mode. I need a break. I need to not focus on creating something new in the next month. And the reason that this happens is because they're so focused on making the next dollar that they're not taking the time to appreciate where they are, get set up, take care of themselves, and they're going to end up running their business into the ground. The other places that it's easy to get, or the other place that it's easy to get stuck is down here in setup mode. Setup mode is typically driven by that need for perfection. And you'll find a lot of beginner coaches stuck here, as well as established, which we'll talk about in a second, because they are constantly creating and revising their website. They are trying to create an entire program and have it be perfect before they've ever sold it. They are constantly, trying to get things right so that they feel like they have the confidence in order to put themselves out there. Where established coaches get stuck here is when they aren't feeling quite so passionate about what they're doing anymore. Maybe their business took a little turn in the wrong direction, or they're burned out and they need a break. So their brain basically shuts down and forces them into this setup mode where they're trying to get their inspiration and their energy back. So we don't want to get stuck in launch mode. We don't want to get stuck in setup mode. Instead, we want to plan our peaks and valleys with the long view of 12 months from now, what we have made. So what this looks like is, so we'll say quarter one, just because that's where we're starting. So quarter one is a setup. Quarter two is a money-making quarter, so we're focused on, quarter one, we might be booking a bunch of speaking engagements. We might be getting that program ready to launch, getting the sales pages ready, getting the JV partners in order, et cetera, et cetera. Quarter two, we're executing. We're delivering those speeches. We are doing the webinars with those JV partners. We are launching that product or program. And then quarter three, we are delivering the product. We're getting ready for the next launch. We are taking some time to get things in order so that our business does not get out of control. And then the next quarter is another peak. Now, does this mean you always have to be launching? So launch has kind of become a little bit of a dirty word in the coaching industry, and you don't actually need to be launching big products or programs, doing big JV launches every quarter. However, you might have activities that are happening kind of like on an evergreen basis. So maybe you're running Facebook ads on an evergreen basis that are going to a webinar, and you're selling some kind of product or program on a consistent basis. But then you also have more concentrated sprints where you are making specific offers to your audience, or you're going to do a speaking tour. So there's different schools of thought in how you do this, or how you do this, and how you can do this. And really, it's all up to you. What I recommend doing is to focus on planning your business a quarter at a time. So first, you're going to set your goals for 12 months. So you know what your revenue needs to be. And then every quarter, you look at these areas of your business. These are the things that we cover in the Trailblazers Collaborative. Every quarter, I talked a little bit about this in another video. So it's fairly easy to follow. So every quarter, we're looking at how much money you made, how much money you spent, which investments were good investments, which expenses could be eliminated, and then which products or programs were good sellers, etc. So you're kind of assessing what worked, what didn't work, and what you can improve for the next quarter. So you're assessing your revenue, and then you're also setting goals for the next quarter. Then we're looking at marketing, aka visibility. Again, we're looking at what did I do in the last quarter, what worked, what didn't work, what can be improved, and what am I going to create in the next quarter in this area. And then last but not least, we look at business model. So this is you, this is your model. This could be products and programs, your staff, however you want to visualize it. But this model is looking at, again, what's working, what's not working. Do I feel like I have the energy to sustain this? Do I need to make some shifts so that I can spend more time doing the things I love? Those shifts might be shifting from a one-to-one to a one-to-many model. It might be creating a home study program. It might be hiring someone. It might be training someone to do coaching for you. Those kinds of things. So what kind of shifts are you going to make in your business model? And then what are the projects that need to be completed, broken down step by step, in order to make these three things happen? So I encourage you to look at the next 12 months and decide what it is you want to create, and then look at these three areas: revenue, visibility, and business model. And every quarter, sit down and set your goals and define what works, what doesn't work, and can be improved. The more mindful you are about your business, the more you're going to have satisfaction, the more time you're going to be able to create, and of course, the more revenue you are going to earn. I hope this was helpful to everyone. Have an awesome day, and I will talk to you soon.